Welcome, everyone, to another HRO Today educational podcast. I am Elliot Clark, the CEO of HRO Today and Shared Expertise. We're here today to talk about ways HR can contribute measurably and financially to the bottom line. One of the most overlooked ways to have a measurable financial impact is to take advantage of tax credit programs. There is a federally funded program called the Worker Opportunity Tax Credit, or WOTC program, that unfortunately is not really used by a significant percentage of companies that would qualify. Who qualifies? Virtually every company in the United States for many categories of workers that they already hire. How do you get those tax credits? What are the processes you need? Well, the good news is we have someone here who can help us explain to you how to optimize by as much as 300%, if you're currently doing it, your WOTC credit collection. We're here with Zachary Collette, who is an expert in the Worker Opportunity Tax Credit Program and an executive with TC Services USA. Welcome to the podcast, Zachary.
Hi, thanks for having me.
So, Zach, tell us a little bit about TC Services USA and what you do.
TC Services, we are an elite work opportunity tax credit provider. We have a proven track record that enables senior executives and leadership all the way from small businesses up to Fortune 500 companies to be able to benefit off of WOTC, which is what we call Work Opportunity Tax Credit for short. So a lot of employers and HR managers have repeatedly expressed dismay about missing out on potential credits because of their WOTC applications and how they were handled. Usually they're not handled professionally or done correctly. So basically what TC Services does, we ensure that our clients receive the maximum amount of credits to which their business is entitled. Typically, we're able to increase their credits by anywhere from 200 to 300%. We're able to do that by researching every new hire application thoroughly through our databases. And with that award-winning technology, we've also customized a unique platform. It allows for employees to complete their forms online, and it helps take the entire process off their plate. Basically, we are able to help people out by making it easier for them, both on the front end and on the back. There are no upfront fees until they claim their credits. As well as keeping track, we send them out detailed reports.
So this is free unless there's a collection, which is great. So let me ask you a couple of questions. Now, according to a study in 2015, and this was on LinkedIn, I think they did the study, an estimated 76% of companies fail, so that's 3 out of 4 companies fail to apply or receive all the WOTC credit available. And this is true at all levels of workers, all levels, all sizes of companies. Zach, explain to our audience what categories of workers actually qualify, and an example of your customer base, how much money this can represent. So, on average of a big company, mid-sized company, how much money could they actually get from the WOTC credit program?
So the WOTC eligibility factors are going to include people that you probably already hire. I mean, unemployment, people on food stamps, candidate for cash assistance, people who are SSI recipients, or even just people who live in your employee's home who are recipients. Veterans, ex-felons, people who live in empowerment zones, which are just areas that are designated by each state where there's a high ratio of people on public assistance, and other small factors. But the big ones are those, and most people are hiring people of that nature anyways. And they can vary, but most of those types of employees are found in many different industries. And like I was saying, we do work with both small and large companies, but of course, the more that you hire, the more tax credits you'll receive. But we're able to see success even in smaller businesses. For example, we're partnered with the Mata franchises. It's a string of home care businesses, and we help those companies save hundreds of thousands of dollars a year. Even if they only hire on average, about 10 people a month per location, they're still able to see that tax relief. Even if they hire 10 people a month, we're still able to get about 40 to 50% of those people qualified for WOTC, which when realized is around about $100,000 off of their taxes that year.
So a lot of money. What changes to the hiring process? If a company, they're not currently participating, if they're part of that 76% that's missing the opportunity, what are the changes to the hiring process that an employer can make to ensure that they receive credit for their eligible hires?
Well, the only changes to the hiring process that an employer would need to implement is just simply adding the 8850 new hire form. It's an application that basically just asks questions about their work history and if they're on, any sort of public assistance. Basically, just add that into your onboarding paperwork, whether it's done with a physical paper copy or our online portal. From there, the only things that employers have to keep an eye on is just updating any ineligible employees' wages and hours once a quarter, which we do help remind them of and help keep the reporting up to date and also clear so they know, because the minimum hourly requirements to gain WOTC certification is 120 hours worked in the year. Well, once they reach 400 hours, that amount doubles. So that's the only thing you would have to watch out for, is just putting in adding the wages and hours once a quarter, and simply just having your employees fill out that application.
And there's a way to have the hire do the 8850 through your portal that's completely confidential. So if companies are anxious about, asking people if they're on food stamps, if they have recently been on some form of public assistance, that system can be done online in a confidential fashion, correct?
Right. They can do it either on their phone, or if you have, an office set up, you can put it on the computer in there. And it takes about 90 seconds. And, sometimes you will get people who, feel a little bit awkward about it. But, if you're already hiring the people and they are already hired, then most of the time they're not really going to worry about it. But it is all confidential and government approved.
So let's talk a little bit about the technology, since we just discussed your portal. So what is it about your technology that ensures that the workers are actually classified properly? Because one of the other things that they found in the study, that the 24% that were taking part of the program, many of them weren't optimized. They actually weren't receiving the credits on all the workers for which they were actually qualified to receive credit. So what does your technology do to ensure that if I want to take part, whether it's through TC Services USA or, try to do it myself, though it would seem that your service would be, it's free and until there's a collection, and then you charge your fees based on what's collected. But if I wanted to do this, what is it about your technology that makes sure that, let's say, if I'm hiring somebody who qualifies, that I actually get the credit?
Before I get into that too, maybe just to explain what it would be like if you were doing it on your own. So if you were to, do it on your own, you're sending out your 8850s. You also have to worry about, let's say if it's a veteran and you wanted to send out proof of status, you would actually have to get with that employee to get their discharge paperwork. Or you can send it out without it. It would take quite a bit to get back. Then you would have to worry about doing all the paperwork on your own in terms of getting it ready for filing, which our technology, which is proprietary, has unprecedented success rates, and that's due to our unique access to information on the back end of the state's record databases. So, as you were saying earlier, an estimated 76% of companies, they fail to apply for or receive all their WOTC tax credits. And so a part of that is employers, not realizing their true potential with WOTC. Maybe if they don't think they hire enough people to see success, or maybe they just don't know about it. But a big part of that falls on the employees themselves. So I'd say about 60% of WOTC applications are filled out incorrectly, either because the employees are either dishonest or maybe they simply don't understand the verbiage. So, typically if you're doing it yourself, especially if an 8850 is incomplete or if it's inaccurate, that would be a credit that you would be missing out on. Now, with us, we can see if somebody is qualified, even if they don't claim that status. For example, maybe you get a new hire in that didn't want to, or maybe was just embarrassed to let their new employer know about their unemployment benefits for that year. So they didn't check it. So even if they didn't check the box on their application for that unemployment status, we are still able to not only see that they were on unemployment, but we can also pull the actual paperwork or proof of status, if you will. We can do that with any one of these qualifiers. If it's a veteran, we can pull their discharge papers directly from our databases, and we send that out as backup whenever we send it to the SWA to see if the person is approved. So not only does it come back a lot quicker, but it also ensures that you will receive the maximum amount of credits possible, regardless of what your employees are actually claiming on that paperwork. And again, it is a government-approved application, and we are the database is connected to government organizations, which is where we get it from.
So a good reason why so many companies aren't taking advantage of it is it's hard for them to administer unless they have the technological infrastructure to make sure that the workers that have been hired are actually qualified. It sounds like there's a lot of hoops to jump through if you don't have the infrastructure and the availability of database information. So basically, if I was going to summarize what we just discussed, your service is basically a percentage of collection, free until otherwise. It's a simple process change and can be done either through your portal or on paper. And the opportunity for ensuring that you're getting the maximum collection is driven off the technology. And it's saving companies hundreds of thousands of dollars a year of payroll costs through the WOTC reimbursement. Is that a fair summary of what can be achieved in terms of the WOTC program?
Oh yeah, most definitely, and our track record is very long with increasing people's tax credits anywhere from 200 to 300%, specifically by the means of exactly how you summarized it.
So to the HR Today audience, there you have it. This is an oft-overlooked opportunity based on some recent studies in the last 5 years. 3 out of 4 companies fail to take advantage of it, and the fourth company that takes advantage of it doesn't get all they're entitled to. The money's been allocated in the budget for this. By the way, as a community development aspect of your company to hire veterans, hire people who have been in at-risk labor categories, people who've been on welfare food stamps, people who are being rehabilitated in society after, hopefully successfully rehabilitated after a conviction. This is a good way to make sure that you're offsetting the costs of your talent acquisition programs. I want to thank TC Services USA and Zach Collette for taking part in this, and we hope you all take advantage of the program. Zach, if they wanted to get in touch with TC Services USA, can you give them the website and contact information if anyone wants to take advantage of this program through your organization?
Yeah, most definitely. If anybody wants to, sign up for a consultation, you can go to WOTC.com, just WOTC.com. And there's a form there. If you want to get some more information about our company, you can look at tcservicesusa.com.
Great. Well, thank you, Zach, for a great podcast. And we hope everyone listening found this information useful. And I certainly know if you aren't optimizing the program, you can find it valuable. Thank you, and we'll look forward to talking to you on the next HR Today educational podcast.